name is Tony González from Made in Metal, and today we are going to talk to Wolf Hoffman, guitar player from Accept. Hello, Wolf. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. I like how you guys in Spain say accept. It's accept.
Yes. Yes, in
I know
Spanish,
it.
Accept. Yes.
Hey, we love it when the audience goes, ole, 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 accept, accept.
Yes.
That's
And
always
tell me something, Wolf. Did you learn some words in Spanish only, or you know something in Spanish?
un poco, un poco.
Un
Not
poco.
much. I started learning a little Spanish, but then I haven't used it in a while. So if I spend a little time in Spanish, I will pick up a few words here and there, but uh, I'm not very good.
Oh. No, but
Lo siento, lo siento.
yes, but even when you say that you are not very good, when you speak in Spanish, you doesn't have a German sound, a German accent. It's the
Oh,
Spanish,
really?
like the Spanish,
Ah,
yes, like the Spain, yes.
verdad.
Verdad,
¿Verdad? Ah, verdad. Gracias.
verdad, and gracias. And tell me, Wolf, last
Yes.
January 2022, the band released the last CD called To Mean to Die. Tell me what has basically happened with the band in this year 2022.
This year, a lot has happened. In 21, not much happened because of COVID. Everybody was at home and we were just waiting for things to get better or for the world to reopen, I should say. So these COVID years were a terrible time for us as musicians, as you can imagine. But this year, we actually have been very busy. 22 was great. We had a complete full summer festival season with many festival shows all over Europe, including Barcelona.
Mhm.
And we played a complete US tour not too long ago. And now we're looking forward to coming back to Europe and finally to do our headline tour for the Too Mean to Die album. So actually, these last few months, we've been very busy. Yeah.
Yes. And in the meantime, do you have new music from another solo CD or not yet?
Not yet. No, I have to tell you the truth, a little secret that I wasn't very productive during the COVID time.
Mhm.
It was very difficult for me to get creative because I was not very inspired. Because you know, being a musician, I thrive on being busy and to be on. When I'm on the road and I get in touch with the fans and I'm getting lots of feedback and I see colleagues and I'm inspired to play music. But when I'm sitting at home and everything is closed and the world seems to come to an end, then I don't feel very inspired to make music.
Yes, I ask you because, for example, sometimes when you write music for a CD, maybe when the CD is finished, there are one or two songs left, and maybe you
Mm.
have some leftovers there. And I thought that maybe you will use it or not. Tell me.
We always have leftover, not always, but we do have leftover songs from time to time. But the thing is, I'm never feeling very strong about them because they are leftovers. It's almost like eating leftover food.
Mm.
It's okay, but it's not as good as new food. I mean, if you know what I mean. So
Mm.
that's how I feel about leftover songs. There's always this, you know, it's leftover. Nah, let's make some new songs. It's always better.
Yes, I use the incorrect word. Yes, there are songs that are not recorded yet.
That's right. And sometimes I tell you what I do, what we do from time to time is I have unfinished song ideas that sometimes I get stuck on a certain idea and I never find the right answer or the right rest of the song at the time. And so when I'm writing new songs, sometimes I'll go back to the old hard drives and look for stuff that I think, oh, this was a good idea. I just never finished it. So sometimes I use um, these old leftover ideas and make a new song out of them.
But the idea is that if the song is not included in a CD, you don't throw away, you keep it.
We keep everything. I mean, nowadays everything is, we never throw anything away. It's like, you know, digital, so it's just data. Everything is like, yeah, no, we never throw anything away.
Yes, but this question has relation with the next, because
Okay.
I recently read that the band announced that are joining forces with Napalm Records. So,
Yeah.
yes, what a record company like this, Napalm Record, can give to a band like Acept?
Dedication and heavy metal spirit. And I think we found a great team with Napalm Records. We were very happy, I have to say, with Nuclear Blast for over 10 years. But then lately, things have just changed over there. They were basically taken over by a large corporation, and all the people that used to work for Accept, they were gone all of a sudden. They had either quit the job, or maybe they were fired, or they moved on somewhere else. And all of a sudden, it felt like it was no longer the same company, and it felt a little, we felt a little lost all of a sudden. But to tell you the God honest truth is that Napalm Record came and made us a great offer, and we thought, wow, they're very motivated. They really believe in Accept. So this seems to be the right team for us at the moment, because you know that's matters to me more than anything. I mean, you can go to a huge label with an amazing reputation, like, I don't know, the major labels, for instance, CBS or Warner Brothers and all these, but that's not always best for you, because you don't, you know, what I think a band like Accept needs is a dedicated team that is really doing the footwork, and really is believing in Accept enough that Accept is important to them. And that's the feeling we have with Napalm Record right now.
This is the reason why all the questions are related, because I thought during the COVID you were writing, and the songs you wrote, plus the song that you didn't record, now you have a complete pack to deliver a new CD. But
It's basically,
yes.
well, it's basically correct. It's just not quite, the timing is not quite right. We're not quite there yet, but everything else is correct.
At the beginning of this year, or no,
yeah,
1 year ago, you not say that the tour, the European tour at the beginning of the year, will be canceled and postponed for the next 2023.
right.
And tell me, Wolf, how much the cancellation of a tour can cost in economical and mental terms?
It's really terrible. I have to be honest with you. It's really not easy, and here's why. Because when you do a tour, you calculate everything at the time when you plan it. And in this case, this was 2019, I believe. We planned, and then the tour was going to be in 2020. No, was it 2020? Anyhow, it was supposed to be in 1 year, and then that didn't happen. It was postponed again, and so now we're finally doing a tour that was planned 3 years ago, planned and calculated. But in the meantime, everything is more expensive. So you're basically, it's all out of balance right now. I mean, the costs have skyrocketed. The hotels and the travel and the crew people and the tour bus is all 40, 50% more expensive. The only thing is not more expensive is the Accept fee, because it was negotiated 3 years ago, and you cannot go and say, you cannot go to the people, they already bought the tickets. You cannot say, hey, our costs have gone up, we need like 50% more money from everybody. It's not going to work, you know. So the bands and the artists are usually the ones who are suffering right now, you know, because everybody else just raised their prices. You know, the hotels and the airlines, they all just go up. Ticket costs like, you know, twice as much now, you know. So, but it's terrible.
Now that you explain me, I imagine that it was really difficult, but now how you explain it, it's really difficult. Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, but we will survive, because, you know, we're too mean to die. Even that won't kill us.
Yes, Wolf, yes. Now that you mentioned the music, now that there are 3 guitar players in the band, how do
Yeah.
you manage to share the riff, the harmonies, and the solos in a concert, for example?
Very well. That's how we're going to share it, because we've already done so many shows that we know what we're doing. It's a lot of fun, I have to tell, because I have to tell you, we went through the old songs and really listened careful to the studio albums, and we said, hey, Phil, you can play that part, because before we were never able to play that with 2 guitars, because I'm already playing this, Uwe is already playing that, but now you can play this. So we try to find parts that make it interesting, that complement each other. We're not trying to do the same exact thing. Everybody's playing the same riff all the time. We're really trying to complement each other. And the other thing we can do now is Phil and I can do a lot of twin harmonies, and then Uwe is still playing the rhythm guitar to it. So it works out really well. It's very, very interesting. And the other thing I do a lot now is sharing solos with Phil back and forth, sort of as a dueling. He plays a little bit, I play a little bit, back and forth and back and forth. And at the same time, we still have a rhythm guitar player. So it's fantastic.
Yes. And tell me, don't you mind if you or Philip change the solo of a song according to
No.
No, not at all.
Well, no, I take that back. There's certain solos I do mind. I have a certain style of solos that I play sometimes where every note is like defined, because it's kind of a melodic part, and I really want those solos to be executed as they are written and as they are recorded, because they're an integral part of the song, an important part of the song sometimes. But there's other places where it's just basically a wild shredding stuff, and it's a free form solo, and I don't mind. I love to let somebody else do that. It's just certain solos that are very important to me because they are composed solos. Those I'd really like to keep, and I want them to be like they were written.
As a guitar player, we can see you playing Gibson, Fender, Hammer, Jackson. And tell me, what kind of guitar do you prefer the most right now?
Right now, for the last 10 years, Framus. Framus is a German guitar company, and they're fantastic. I've been playing them since 9 years. I can't remember, but for a long time. And I have several. They make me a very special custom model just to my specifications, and it's much better than Gibson and Fender and Hamer and all of them together. It's the best guitar I've ever played. Really, it's really true. So I'm very happy with them.
Yes, and for example, when we listen all ASAP songs from 20 years, and we listen now the new songs, or even Alive, when we listen the old songs, the sound is a little different, but basically is the same. Tell me, how can your guitar sound be the same using different guitars?
It's these things that make all the difference. These fingers.
Do you think that is the most important?
No doubt, because I mean, I can pick up a guitar. If there's this. Other people have said that. I'm not the first one to say it. Take somebody with a very special guitar sound, like Angus Young, for instance. He sounds like Angus Young. You hear it immediately. If I take his guitar, I'm not going to sound like Angus Young. I'm going to sound like Wolf Hoffman. If I take Eddie Van Halen's guitar and play it exact same, it's still not going to sound like Eddie. It's just because it's the hands. It's mostly in the hands.
But the pedals you use are the same, or you are changing?
No. Gear has changed completely over the years. I mean, I don't play anything. My gear is completely different from 20 years ago, and I've went through many, many different changes, but I always try to make it sound similar, and it's always going to sound similar because I play it, and it's the songs I play, and it's how I play it. That's why it's always going to sound familiar.
When you take you and Philip for ASAP, did they come with the sound that you wanted, or you need to talk to them and advise them in order to maintain the sound of the band? Tell me.
Yeah, of course. You go and you know, the people know that I mean, if you come into Accept, you're not going to come with a Fender Twin Reverb and a Telecaster. That's it's obvious. You know, you want to sound like, you know, you probably want to, you know, already what you're sort of supposed to sound like. And sometimes we try different instruments and we do try different amps, but we found something that works really well for us. And we're, funny enough, we're almost using, all three of us, the exact same gear. We're all using frameless guitars and Kemper amps, and it works just fine. You know, everybody's quite happy with the way it sounds.
To me today, reach the top 10 was really good. But what does it mean to you?
Not terribly much, but it's a great honor, of course. But really, in real life, I'm more focused on other things. I mean, a chart position is nice, and don't get me wrong, I love it, and I want more of it. I want to be #1 everywhere, of course. But at the same time, it's more important to hear the people and get the feedback of what they really think. You know, if I have the feedback from the fans directly, that they say, "Oh my God, this album is amazing! It's as good as the last 5, or it's better than anything you've ever done," or "This album means so much to me because blah blah blah." That to me means more than like a chart position, because that's just a number in a way, you know, and it depends on so many other factors. But, and to be quite honest, it gives you a little bit of bragging rights, you know, in the industry. You could say, "Hey, you accept #9 or #5 or number 1." It's great, but personally, I think the fan connection is much more important.
I have a feeling about this when I read this news, and to me it was really curious. The destiny, for example, I said this is the destiny, because this CD was #1 in USA in hard rock chart and other charts. And I remember that some years ago, when the band hired David Reese to sing and record Eat the Heat, the CD was oriented to the American market. And finally, you can say, Wolf, that the success in USA comes with the original ASEC music style. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, times have changed dramatically. Eat the Heat was 30 years ago. Please don't forget that. That's a long time. So we've learned a lot of lessons. The market has changed a lot. People have changed. People's tastes have changed. And nowadays, hey, classic heavy metal is very much in demand, and people respect us for what we do, and people want to hear what Accept is all about. And that was completely different in 1990 or whenever, you know, 32 years ago. So I think you always have to see everything, every album in its, you cannot take it out of the context. You know, if we had released Restless and Wild today, or Eat the Heat 5 years earlier or 10 years later, it might have been completely different. You know, everything changes with the times. And so but you know, this day and age, and especially this new period with Mark Tornillo, feels like it's right on target. It's exactly the right thing to do. People love what we do. We make really strong albums. I feel very proud and feel really good about him. And there's no more searching. You know, sometimes in our career, there was a time, especially in the 90s, we felt a little bit lost. We didn't really know, where should we go next? What should Accept sound like now, or 1990? But now we do know. We know exactly what we want to do. We know exactly what our goal is and what we wanted to achieve. And that makes it easier on one hand, and it also makes it harder, because, you know, the more you do in a certain style, in the genre, the harder it is to stay on target. It's always easier to go and say, "Oh, this next album is going to be completely different from all the other albums. We're going to be very experimental. We're going to try to be, I don't know, more progressive rock or something. You know, we've never done this, and it's going to be all new and exciting." It's easy. It's much harder to do something that you've done already successful for a number of years, and to really come up with something that's exciting to you, that inspires you as a musician and also the audience, but it sounds familiar because it's right on target.
I recognize the right to experiment, to change, but part of this feeling is, let's say, so after 50 years, finally the number one in the chart. But then after 50 years, maybe you say, it wasn't so important. Like you told
Yeah,
me
maybe,
before. Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
No, I don't care. I don't care so much about the chart position. I'm looking more for personal satisfaction, and I want to make the fans happy, and I want to have good shows and all that other stuff. You know, chart positions are nice, but they're not my main focus. I don't care about charts, honestly.
Yes. Sometimes when I read interviews that you have, I think that your philosophy of life is related to carpe diem. Do you understand the idea?
I
Enjoy.
do, absolutely. Enjoy life, enjoy the day, and value what you have right now. And I very much do, I have to tell you. I'm fully aware that there's always more in life. I mean, you could always say, oh, I don't know, the Rolling Stones are much more successful and we're just shit. We're nothing in comparison. But that's bullshit. I mean, we're perfectly happy with where we are, and I really enjoy traveling. I enjoy meeting fans. I'm very satisfied with how much Accept has achieved. But it's a trap if you're always looking for the sky. It's something to be inspired by, but you should never be unhappy because you're not the best at everything. You know what I mean? Or you don't have I mean, there's always going to be somebody who sells more albums, somebody who sells more tickets, but does that make them happier? No. I don't care about that.
Don't make you happier.
No, I mean, I'm quite happy with where I am. I want to get better at what I do, and I still want to do many more tours, many more albums, and I want to achieve personal goals. But I'm already very happy with what we've achieved so far, if you know what I mean. In America, they say the grass is always greener on the other side. The neighbor's grass is always greener, but that's just a perspective. It's just bullshit.
Yes. So maybe for this answer, you will say no, but I'm going to ask you because
Okay.
next year in 2023 is the 40th anniversary of Balls to the Walls.
Yes.
Are you thinking of preparing a special celebration, or you are the kind of band who doesn't enjoy this?
We've always stayed away from it in the past because we've always been so busy with working a current album or a new album. And you just previously, 5 minutes ago, you asked me about a new album. Mm-hmm. And now you ask me about an anniversary. So I can't do both. I have to do as a musician. And usually we've gone with, hey, let's make a new album. It's time for a new album. And then we tour this album. So there's never been enough time to do all these anniversary tours so far. But that doesn't mean we won't do them one day. And I have a question for you.
Tell me.
Do you know you look like Pablo Picasso?
I look like Pablo Picasso?
That's my idea. Yeah.
No, but it's maybe because in the Pablo Picasso painting, the two eyes are in the same area, and when I see it, you can see the two eyes. Don't tell me, don't you think that I look like Pablo Picasso?
A little bit, yeah, I can see it.
Made me feel good, but unfortunately, I don't have a relation with Picasso. Maybe I would like to have the money.
Yeah, a nice little leftover painting in the basement would be nice right now. Yeah, I know.
Yes, Wolf. Yes. So
last question. What is it?
No, the last question is that in May 2010 was the debut of Mark Tornillo with Acid.
Yeah.
And now you were forced to take for a concert Jason McMaster, and for another the guitar player sung. Tell me, do you feel comfortable with this situation?
Yes, I did, but only because it was the alternative would be to cancel the show. And so here's the situation. We were in Toronto, and Mark had a very bad cold, and it was impossible. The doctors say, don't sing for 3-4 days, whatever. But we were in Toronto, and the show was sold out. So we got the news 5 minutes before the show time. The doctor says no. So then we decided, hey, We're just going to go out onto stage and tell the audience the truth. We said, listen, we have a man down. Mark cannot sing. So what do you want us to do? Do you want to go home and we cancel the show and we come back 6 months from now or a year from now? Or should we not try to make the best out of the situation and play for you? And, you know, we sing a little bit, the audience sings a little bit, and we turned it into an unusual event, into a big party, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And that's what we did. So we played one show without a singer, but then we said, well, shit, we can't do that again tomorrow and the day after. So we called around and called a lot of people who were, and a lot of people were interested, and they all said, oh, I would love to sing for you guys and jump in and fill in. But a lot of people were not available. Some of them were on tour in other countries or in the studio. So Jason also came highly recommended, and he was available to just jump in like that, and he did an amazing job. And it was a bit of fun, I have to say. I like these imperfections sometimes, you know, because it's human. And I think the audience really appreciated the fact they were really happy that we did it, because canceling is easy. I mean, everybody can say, oh, we wait until things are perfect again. But, you know, it takes a little bit of balls to to do something that you know is not going to be perfect. But at the same time, I realize now more than ever that this is what makes a live show a live show. And this is why you go to a concert. You know, if you want everything to be like clockwork and perfect, then you might as well listen to a CD at some point. But, you know, this is, anyhow, long story short, I enjoyed it, and the audience really had a great time too. So it was the right thing to do.
Yes, and he was able to sing most of the songs. It was really perfect.
Gotta run. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
España. Ole, ole, ole.
Ole, ole, ole. Accept.
Accept.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.